If you met Santa Claus in the year 1200, you wouldn't recognize him. There would be no red suit, no jingling bells, no flying reindeer, no North Pole workshop, no list of who's naughty or nice. Instead, you would meet a quiet bishop from Myra, a man remembered not for grand spectacles, but for secret acts of mercy. Yet somehow, over 1,000 years, that humble bishop became the most recognizable figure of the modern world. This is the story of how a saint became a salesman, a symbol, and finally, an icon. Long before Santa walked through shopping malls, he walked through ancient streets as Saint Nicholas of Myra, a 4th century Christian bishop in what is now Turkey. His miracles were small but powerful, the kinds of acts that spread by whispered stories, not sermons. He rescued children from danger. He slipped coins through windows to help the poor. He defended sailors during violent storms. To medieval Europeans, he wasn't just a saint. He was protector, gift-giver, guardian of the vulnerable. By the 1100s, December 6th, the feast of Saint Nicholas had become a beloved winter celebration. Children placed their shoes by the fireplace, hoping for sweets or coins. Markets sold Nicholas breads shaped like bishops. In some towns, actors dressed as bishops would walk the streets offering blessings. No sleigh, no reindeer, only a saint with a gentle hand and a quiet purpose. But the transformation was coming. The Protestant Reformation swept across Europe and erased many saint-centered traditions. But Saint Nicholas refused to disappear. He lived on in the folklore of Northern Europe, especially the Netherlands, where he became Sinterklaas, a wise, tall, bishop-like figure who rode a white horse across winter skies and kept a great book of children as deeds. This Dutch version carried the seeds of modern Santa, a winter gift-giver, a magical traveler, a figure who rewarded the good, a personality larger than any single religion. And when Dutch settlers arrived in New Amsterdam, later renamed New York, they brought Sinterklaas with them. It was in America, a country obsessed with reinvention, that Sinterklaas would become something entirely new. The early United States needed winter traditions that felt young, modern, and uniquely American. Poets and writers began reshaping Dutch Sinterklaas into something fresh, and the first big blow came in 1809, Washington Irving's reinvention in Knickerbocker's History of New York. Irving described Sinterklaas not as a bishop, but as a chubby, jolly Dutch elf flying over rooftops in a wagon. This playful version caught readers' imaginations. It felt cozy, friendly, perfect for a country carving its own cultural identity. But it was a poem written on a snowy night in 1822 that transformed everything. Clement Clarke Moore's poem, known today as "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," created the blueprint for Santa Claus, a plump, cheerful figure, a sleigh pulled by reindeer, a magical visit on Christmas Eve, a chimney-slipping gift-giver, a laugh like a bowl full of jelly in 56 lines. Moore erased centuries of medieval imagery and replaced it with something charming, intimate, wildly imaginative. Victorian families adored it. Newspapers reprinted it. Artists illustrated it. Children memorized it. Santa had become something he had never been before, a symbol of American childhood. But visuals matter, and one artist would give Santa the body he still wears today. From the 1860s to the 1880s, political cartoonist Thomas Nast, working for Harper's Weekly, drew Santa again and again. He was the first to show a workshop at the North Pole, elves building toys, a giant book of naughty and nice, Santa as a plump, full-sized adult, the famous red and white color scheme, though not yet standardized. His illustrations mixed humor with fantasy, but also with American ideals like industry, family, and generosity. Nast didn't just draw Santa, he designed a world around him. By the end of the 19th century, Santa Claus was a myth, a brand, a national symbol, and the star of Christmas commerce. And commerce was about to grab hold with both hands. By the early 1900s, Santa became a marketing tool, knowingly, unapologetically. In 1890, James Edgar of Massachusetts dressed as Santa to greet children in his dry goods store. Parents drove miles to bring their kids to see the real Santa. By the 1920s and 30s, Macy's launched the first giant department store Santa experience. Newspapers printed color Santa ads weekly. Radios broadcast Santa tracker updates. Toy companies built entire campaigns around Santa's workshop. Santa was no longer a saint or a folklore figure. He was a brand ambassador for childhood joy and a magnet for holiday spending. Yet one company would become synonymous with locking Santa's appearance forever. The idea that Coca-Cola invented Santa is false, but their ads cemented him. Illustrator Haddon Sundblom was hired in 1931 to create a warm, wholesome Santa. He painted him using a neighbor as his main model, himself as backup reference, a red suit matching Coca-Cola branding, rosy cheeks, sparkling eyes, a friendly smile. These images were printed in magazines worldwide, reaching millions. Sundblom's Santa became the Santa. The image stuck. It felt American. It felt modern. It felt commercial, but also comforting. By mid-century, Santa was no longer evolving. He was finished. While America perfected the commercial Santa, global traditions remained vibrant. Father Christmas in England, tall, green-robed, and tied to nature. Dead Moros in Russia, the Snow Father, accompanied by his granddaughter, Snegoroshka, Julanice, in Scandinavia, a mischievous barn spirit. Pernul in France, elegant and slender. What's remarkable is how these figures blended with or stood apart from American Santa imagery. In some countries, Santa kept his old colors. In others, he adopted red over time. Santa became a truly global myth, constantly reinterpreted, always shifting. So who created Santa? Was it the Bishop of Myra, Dutch settlers, poets, artists, department stores, advertisers, Hollywood? The real answer is all of them. Every era reshaped Santa into what it needed. The Middle Ages needed a protector of the weak. The Victorians needed a symbol of family tenderness. The Industrial Age needed a spirit of generosity. The Commercial Age needed a global ambassador of holiday spending. And today, need a figure of nostalgia, a reminder of childhood simplicity in a complicated world. Santa has survived empires, wars, religions, and revolutions because he is more than a character. He is a cultural canvas, a symbol every generation paints again. Santa Claus didn't just evolve, he was reborn again and again, from a bishop in ancient Turkey to a Dutch legend, from a poem to an illustration, a department store attraction to a worldwide icon. He became exactly what each era imagined. And maybe that's the secret. Santa is not one story. He is all of them. The saint for the faithful, the spirit for the joyful, the salesman for the modern world. So, who really created Santa Claus? Poets, priests, or advertisers? Maybe the real answer is that we all did.